What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're here for some more of The Crew 2. I just want to apologise for the spam that there has been on the channel of The Crew 2. There's going to be a lot more in the course of this week, so if you are interested, please stay tuned. But today, we're going to go ahead and talk about the touring cars. So, as some of you may be aware, for those obviously that played the last game, I know there's a lot of people that didn't play the original The Crew, which was quite surprising from, you know, the past few videos. But essentially, in the last game, there was certain vehicle types: street, circuit, dirt, and raid, I believe, were the ones that you could pick in the main base game. Obviously, circuit was one of the main ones from the last game. It was from the vanilla game. It was something which was conceived at the start of The Crew's kind of life cycle. And for those that have been watching a bunch of The Crew 2 content, I imagine there's going to be a lot of new viewers probably just clicked on this video as they're looking through search results for The Crew 2 and the new stuff around surrounding The Crew 2. There's a lot more kind of types of vehicle in this game. You've got monster trucks, drift cars, street cars, touring cars. You've got the Alpha GP cars. Then you've got all the boats and planes and bikes and all the other stuff. You've got the rally cars, which I don't think anyone's seen yet. I haven't even seen that yet. I didn't even know that the houses upgraded until yesterday. And I played the game early. There's so much to this game. It's a bit ridiculous. But what they've gone ahead and done is made that circuit class its own touring car class within the pro racing family. In this game, there's a bunch of different families of cars. You've got your street racing family, or street racing HQ and the street racing family, and then you've got your acrobatics family, and you know, I'm going to talk about that in a different video. It's very, very in-depth. But the touring cars take up their own kind of slot. And in this gameplay, you're going to see me, you know, purchase a touring car and go ahead and take it into a race online with my crew, which was kind of full of a group of people that were at the recording event. And I'm just going to talk a bit about the touring cars generally, because there's a lot to say. So a lot of the touring cars in this game actually appeared in the last game. So if you did play the last game, you're going to notice a lot of the cars are very, very similar. I decided to pick a new car, one that was never seen in the original The Crew, or was never even around in the original The Crew due to the EA Porsche license. And that is the 911 GT3 Cup. It was just an obvious choice for me. I'm a bit of a Porsche guy. I like Porsches, and it was just one of those things. Haven't seen it in many of the games, so I was going to go ahead and choose it. One thing which I find is really, really cool with the touring cars is that most of them are actually licensed. You'll recognize a lot of the cars that are actually touring cars in this game are actual licensed cars that are used in GT3 or used in, you know, whatever type of, you know, you get what I'm saying. Which I think is really, really cool. It kind of adds a little personality to it, but as well as that, there's also a few cars in there, mainly more of the classic cars which aren't licensed. Like for the example, the Camaro, which I have more gameplay for later, they actually use like their own parts of that from the last game, so that's really, really cool. You're going to notice a lot of the Camaro parts are actually available on the street racing Camaro, which is really, really cool. There's a lot to talk about with the touring cars. I think I'm going to start off with the customization, because it's very, very limited, as I kind of expected. You can't actually change, at least from what I understood from this little short recording event, any of the bumpers or any of the spoilers, which is understandable, especially with the licensed cars. This has already got the Porsche GT3 livery on, so, you know, to change the car and make it look different would be a bit weird. So I'm not too upset about that. I'm pretty sure you can put your own liveries on the car using the in-game vinyl editor, which is something which I'm still yet to cover. But yes, this game has its own vinyl editor, not similar to the original The Crew, more similar to Forza and Need for Speed's vinyl editor, so you guys can go ahead and make whatever you want within that. And it also has a decal editor as well. It's really, really in-depth, and that's something I'll cover in the future. I can see like a Marlboro skin looking really, really nice on this car, or a Martini skin. I think that would really, really suit this 911. But anyway, that's it for the customization. There's really not much to talk about in that regard. It's a touring car. It's under the professional racing family, so I didn't personally expect there to be too much. But what I do want to talk about is the physics, because the physics changed drastically between the street racing family and the touring car family and the Alpha GP and all that kind of stuff. So with this, you can see I'm racing the GT3 car. I'm actually using like almost no assists. I was playing in manual as well, which is something which I really struggled with the last game. I just found that I just couldn't really do it. There was a bit of a delay between when you were going into gears. In this game, it is not the same. It's an instant, you know, snap change up gear. It's like the clutch isn't even there, kind of similar to how Forza is with some cars. Again, I don't know if that's the same with, you know, some lower end cars, but at least in this GT3, the shifting everything was sorted. It didn't feel laggy anymore. It's one of those things, I've seen a lot of comments about people saying it looks like the original The Crew, and it's really hard for it to do it justice. I know a lot of people said the same when Need for Speed came around, and believe me, the physics are so different in this game. It does look a bit floaty, and I can kind of get that. I think a lot of that is to do with the camera, but it's so much more planted. It buckles a hell of a lot less. I'm not confident enough to say it doesn't buckle at all yet, because I haven't played enough of the game to say so, but it buckles a hell of a lot less. The physics overall are a hell of a lot better, and the touring cars specifically are so much more gripped compared to the street racing cars. The difference between car classes is truly uncanny. I find the off-roading in this game is actually really enjoyable. I don't really enjoy off-roading in many games other than like Dirt and, you know, the hardcore rally games. And I've got to say, you know, with this game and the way they've gone around the off-roading, I know this isn't an off-road video, but I'm going to touch on it since I'm on the topic. Really fun. And with the touring car racing and with the professional racing family, you're going to notice you actually kind of have to follow a lot more of like traditional, you know, racing lines to be more successful compared to the street car racing. In the street car racing, you can go batshit crazy, drift around corners, and it's not really going to matter too much. But in this mode, stuff like trail braking into corners and stuff like, you know, following the racing line is a lot more important, and you're going to be, you know, rewarded for doing so. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, in this whole recording event, I didn't actually really do that well. There's no other excuse other than I just played shit. I'm not going to lie. And I honestly wish that I, like, spent a bit more time in the touring car racing and got some better gameplay for you guys to kind of demonstrate those changes compared to the street racing. But unfortunately, I didn't. You're just going to have to take my word for it, or, you know, get around to playing the beta, which is coming later this month. But trust me when I say this game, watching gameplay of it really doesn't do it justice. One thing is, which is really cool with this as well compared to the drift races, is in the touring car racing it's actually collision on. In the drift races it's collision off. So they have actually put some thought into that. This isn't the PvP mode, this is just playing with your crew in the campaign, because I do believe there is a kind of co-op campaign-esque feature in this game where you can just take your crew into a game and go from there. I genuinely do believe that this is going to open up a section of the crew which I feel was kind of lacking before. You'll notice with the original The Crew circuit races, they were definitely a change from the street racing type of car. It changed completely. It felt so different, but I wouldn't really say it felt circuity, if you know what I mean. This actually feels like a circuit car, actually feels like I'm racing a track car, a touring car, and that's something which I can only applaud them for. It doesn't feel as arcadey as it did in the last game. Now, don't get what I'm saying confused. The game is still arcadey in nature. That's the point in The Crew. It's an arcade game, but I'm saying less so. It takes cues from, you know, other games which are more simulation based. It's kind of closer to Horizon than it is to kind of the original The Crew, if you know what I'm saying in that regard. Anyway, that's everything for the 911. I'm quickly going to show you some gameplay of the Camaro, but I'm going to leave this rolling and I'm going to let you guys watch the rest of this gameplay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.